Where did you get all that stuff from? Because it's not Moorish science. That's not none of the teachings that our prophet talked about. That's not in our Moorish Quran. That's not in our Quranic study guides. None of that stuff is in our Quranic study guide. None of that stuff is in our catechism for understanding the Moorish Quran. None of that stuff is in our Discover the Key to the Moorish Questionnaires. None of that stuff is in the science that we're studying. None of that stuff is in our SO Science book. None of that stuff is in our Moorish literature. None of that stuff is in our Silent Brotherhood of the East. See? So what more science are you studying? Your prophets today is our scholars that teach more science. It's just what it is. So, I hope your Moors got your, I hope all your Moors got your Silent Brotherhood of the East. Watch this. Watch how we're going to correct some teaching real fast. We're going to correct some teachings real fast. Watch this. If you miss homework, Moors, y'all students on here, everybody there, ask somebody, what's the homework? I'm telling y'all, we family. If we family, you got students. This is what I tell Moors. I'm going to teach you how to study. If you was going to a lecture and everything I said was going to be on the test and all the chapters I gave it, and you just going to sit there and not ask your classmates to help you study, y'all should be coming together. This is what I'm trying. I'm trying to get you to think. I'm trying to get us to be studious. I'm trying to get us to a certain aptitude, a certain savantness about ourselves we should have. Come on, man. That's why I be saying I can say stuff one time, and I know this be the first time Moors hearing it. That's why I say it over and over. For you can become a student. For you lean on your brother. So this is our Moors. This is our Silent Brotherhood of the East, and I'm gonna correct some teachings when people be mistaken. So I'm gonna go to chapter 1. This is elementary. Chapter 1. Y'all ready, Moors?
Ready.
Students, let's go. The life and works of Jesus in Egypt and India. Didn't say Muhammad, did I? And Jesus came to Egypt, land, and all was well. He tarried not upon the coast. He went at once to Zon, home of Elihu and Selm, whom 25 years before had taught his mother in their sacred school. What sacred school? Think about it. And there was a joy when met these three. When last the son of Mary saw these sacred grooves, he was a babe, and now a man had grown strong by buffeting of every kind, a teacher who has stirred the multitudes in many lands. And Jesus, and I'm going to use the holy names, Yahshua, and Yahshua told the aged teachers all about his life, about his journey in foreign lands, about the meetings with masters, and about his kind receptions by the multitudes. Elihu and Salm hears this story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to hear and said, 6, Our Father Allah, let now thy servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of the Lord. And we have talked with him, the messenger of love and of the covenant of peace on earth and good will to men. And through him shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Through him, Emmanuel. And Yahshua stayed in Zon many days. And then he went forth upon the city of the sun, that men call Heliophilus, and sought admission to the temple of the sacred brotherhood. The council of the brotherhood coveted. And Jesus, which is Yahshua, stood before the Hierophant. He answered all the questions that were asked with clearness and with power. The Hierophant exclaimed, Rabboni of the Rabbinite, why come you here? Your wisdom is the wisdom of the gods. Why seek for wisdom in the halls of man? Because see, just like what Yahshua was doing, where wisdom is, that's where he was. Y'all ain't following me. And Yahshua answered, in every way of earth, life, I would walk. In every hall of learning, I would sit. The height that any man has gained, these would I gain. Are y'all listening to me? So if God works through man and wisdom is being exhumed, if you say you knowledgeable and you want to be connected to the great creator, you should be where wisdom is at all costs. 13, what any man has suffered, I would meet. that I may know the grief, the disappointment, and sore temptations of my brother man, that I may know just how to succor with these in need. So meaning, if you have a weakness, you should be strong in Allah, to where those weaknesses become a strength. And when you understand, when you a master craftsman, your pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right. And when you a master of yourself, your pendulum don't swing out of whack no more. You control that swing of the pendulum, Moors. Y'all not listening to me. That's why I pray, brothers, let me go into your dismal crypts. I will pass the hardest of your tests. The master said, take then the vow of secret brotherhood. And Jesus, which is Yahshua, took the vow of secret brotherhoods. Again, the master spoke, he said, the greatest heights are gained by those who reach the greatest depth, and you shall reach the greatest depth. The guide then laid the way and the foundation of Jesus, which is Yahshua, bathed. And when he had been clothed in proper garb, he stood again before the Hierophant. Now watch this. Now watch me. Let me show y'all something. Chapter 1, the life and works of Jesus in India. Chapter 2, the life works of Jesus in Joseph's home at the age of 7 years. Chapter 3, the life works of Jesus at the age of 10. Chapter 4, the talks with the rabbi and the 10 commandments. Chapter 5, I ain't said nothing about Muhammad yet, did I? Chapter 5, Jesus again, his first year of divine ministry. Chapter 6, Jesus presented with carnal. 7, Elihu's lesson, the mystery of Egypt. 8, the council of the 7 of the world. 9, opening the address of Jesus with the 7 sages. 7-day silence. Come on, man. Are y'all listening to me? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Chapter 10, meaning of the 7 sages to make law for the coming of the age. That's chapter 10. Chapter 11, Jesus revealed the marriage law of man and a wife from Allah. Chapter 12, Jesus explains to Casper the meaning of the silent and the wisdom of Allah. Chapter 13, Jesus' holy answer to Lammas. Chapter 14, listen to this. Chapter 14, in your silent brotherhood of the East. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? Watch this. Jesus received the mystic name and number and passes what? What do he passes? Watch this. Let's go to it and see. And then I'm going to give you your homework for this book. That's right, Mom. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Chapter 14. That's why I know these Moors, they read, they always talk about, some white man stuff. And I said, who told you about some white man stuff?
You got to tell them what I said.
What you saying?
I said he passes through this.
Oh yeah, he passes through the adapt chamber. That's right. Chapter 14, in our mission of the silent brotherhood of the East. This is a I wouldn't even say a continuation. Your Moorish Quran and this, they go hand in hand. Just like you get religious people talk about the Old and the New Testament. Ain't no Old and the New. It's one book. Same thing with this. Same thing with this. If you don't know that, something wrong with you. I synchronize both of these. They go together. If you don't know that, I don't know what you're studying. So, all right, I had to put my time on. So, chapter 14. Jesus received the mystic name and number and passed the first brotherhood test. The master took down from the wall a scroll on which was written down the number and the name of every attribute, character, and he said, let's dig. The circle is the symbol of the perfected man, and the 7 is the number of the perfected man. The logos is the perfected word, that's Greek, that which creates, that which destroys, and that which is saved. Watch this, y'all. This Hebrew master. Who? This Hebrew master. What? This Hebrew master. Who? This Hebrew master. What? This, I'm just letting, this the word, so we'll be getting it twisted, and I'm going to show you in the Moorish Quran. This Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time. Let me just show y'all something, because I get excited, man. Write this down. Your Moorish Quran. Chapter 11, verse 43 in your Moorish Quran. Chapter 11, verse 43. And I want somebody to post it. Chapter 11, verse 43. I ain't going to read it. I want somebody else to post it. 43 and 44 while I'm teaching. Chapter 11, verse 43 and 44 of your Moorish Quran. Now, I'm going to read it to y'all so y'all can be clear. And then I'm going to get back to the teaching. Chapter 11, verse 43 and 44 of your Moorish Quran. Now I just said in our silent brotherhood of the East, number 3, this Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time. Now watch me get in your Moorish Quran, chapter 11, verse 43. Watch what it says. The Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom, the 5. He brings to us the knowledge of the secret things of Allah. And all the world will hear his words. Who words? This Hebrew prophet. And glorify his name. Verse 44. You priests of the temple, Kabvistu, stay, be still, and listen. When he speaks, he is the living oracle of Allah. When who speak? When who speak? This Hebrew God. That's who? This Hebrew God. What y'all talking about? I just gave it to you in your Moorish Quran. So what you reading? So what you dissing? You should be correcting everybody that's dissing something. Because you ain't studied your Moorish Quran. You damn sure ain't read your Moorish Quran, and you damn sure ain't read your Silent Brotherhood of the East. You letting it collect dust like a trophy. It's collecting dust like your 6th grade trophy that you won in basketball. So who lying on the scriptures? Who lying on the teachings? Somebody. Because it's in there. What's that soup? Campbell's or Heinz ketchup? It's in there. It's in there. So let's get back to our Silent Brotherhood of the East. Verse 4. So I read verse 3. This Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time. And in the record book, the scribe wrote down the logos, the circle, the 7, and thus was Jesus known, which is Yahshua, because there never was a J in the Hebrew dialect. The master said, the logos will give heed to what I say. No man can enter into light till he has found himself. Go forth and search till you have found your soul, and then return. And so you get all those religious people talking about Yahshua, he didn't study. What do you think he was doing them 18 missing years going over the world? Tibet, to the Mediterranean, to Luxor. Come on. Oh, you thought he was going to the strip clubs? Then, verse 6, the guy led Jesus to a room in which the light was faint and mellow like the light of early dawn. Y'all, this is what he's in his chamber. He's in his chamber. He's figuring out the mysteries. He's studying the holy books. The same way I've done. I've been initiated. Being initiated is nothing wrong being initiated. That's why I'm going to give you the etymology of words where you can get the truth and the goodness out of things instead of taking the bad out of stuff. And other people use it to win. And they look at you and laugh. Verse 7, the chamber walls were marked with mystic signs, with hieroglyphs and sacred texts. And in the chamber, Jesus, which is Yahshua, found himself alone, where he remained for many days. Verse 8, and he read the sacred text. What? And he read the sacred text. What? And he read the sacred text. Thought out the meanings of the hieroglyphs and sought the import of the master charge to find himself. And a revelation came. He got acquainted with his soul. He found himself. Then he was not alone. Ooh.
Find your soul,
You will never be alone when you find your soul. When you find your soul, how can you be alone? Verse 10, one night he slept, and at midnight hour, a door that he had not observed was opened. And a priest in summer garb came in and said, so y'all got to remember, I'm not talking about nothing outside yourself. I'm breaking down esoteric and exo. So remember, it's two. It's two. If we connected ourselves to God, that means I'm explaining something what? Esoterically. Right. Esoterically. 11, my brother, pardon me for coming in at this unseemly hour, but I have come to save your life. 12, you are the victim of a cruel plot. The priests of Holotheus are jealous of your fame, and they have said that you will never leave these gloomy crypts alive. 13, the higher priests do not go forth to teach the world, and you are doomed to the temple servitude. You see that? So you see what religion always done? Always done. You were killed if you taught science. Now, if you would be free, you must deceive these priests, must tell them you are here to stay for life. 15, and then you will have gained all that you wish to gain. I will return, and by a secret way will lead you forth, that you may go in peace. 16, listen to this. And Jesus said, which is Yahshua, my brother man. That sounds like a brother. Oh, that sounds like a brother. What do you say? My brother man. Would you come here to teach deceit? Would I come here to teach deceit? Or you think I'm afraid of some principalities? You got to be crazy. It ain't nothing that a mortal man can do to me. I will lay my life down willingly for what I believe and for my family. That ain't even a choice for me. People close to me done lost their lives for things simpler than that. So I will willingly give my life for what I believe in without a doubt. But the question is, would you stand strong on your square? When everybody, I'm standing on my square. What you standing on? You ain't standing on no square. You ain't standing on no square because you afraid. You won't even wear your fez. Talk about you standing on your square. You playing. You taking pictures for the internet. About you standing on your square. What are you talking about? 14. Now, if you would be free, you must deceive these priests, must tell them you are here to stay. Verse 16. And Jesus said, my brother man, will you come here to teach deceit? Am I within these holy walls to learn the wiles of vile hypocrisy? 17. Nay, man, my father scorns deceit. Woo! Nay, man. Nay, man. Like I rebuke you, Satan. My father scorns deceit, and I am here to do it, to do his will. Deceive these priests, not while the sun shines. What I have said, I have said. I will be true to them, to Allah, and to myself. And then the tempter left, and Jesus was again alone. But in a little time, a white-robed priest appeared and said, well done, the Logos has prevailed. This is the trial chamber of hypocrisy. And then he led them away. And Jesus stood before the judgment seat. So are y'all following me? He said this was the what? The chamber of hypocrisy. This is the chamber of hypocrisy. So watch this. Just like when I get Negro Blacks of Color always asking me, I almost cussed. Asinine questions like, where do white people come from? And I say that's the same thing. They tried to question the Messiah with dumb questions to see if they're going to get him caught up in the wordplay, to see if he's going to say something stupid, so they can persecute him, for he can say something, how can I say it, not just, because these words are universal and these teachers are abroad. So when a person asks me something asinine like that, I would say they came from the same place you came from. 9 to the 9th power. They came from their mama's womb the same way you came from. Prove me different. Prove me different. So you get caught up in that racist stuff and that prejudice stuff. But you got to know who you are so much. Well, we don't care about under that. We understand the science, but they come from the same place you come from. Talk about where do a white baby come from? They mama's womb, damn it.
Ohio.
They come from their mama's womb. My mama said Ohio. 9 to the 9th power. That birth cycle. Everybody's born under the 9 to the 9th power. This is simple science. Or you think the great God Allah is that selfish? He only gonna make a blue bird? Get out of here, man.
What you said earlier about about the religion and how it made it white? I can't remember.
Whitewashing. Whitewashing of history. We gonna teach on that in class. But 20, well done, the Logos has prevailed. This is the trial chamber of hypocrisy. And then he led the way, and Jesus stood before the judgment seat, Yahshua. And all the brothers stood. The Hierophant came forth and laid hands on Jesus, which is Yahshua's head, and placed within his hand a scroll on which was written just one word, sincerity. And not a word was said. The guide again appeared and led the way in the spacious room, replete with everything a student craves, was Jesus, which is Yahshua, bade to rest and wait. Right? See, all these, Jesus passes the brotherhood test. Jesus passes the second brotherhood test. Jesus, the Logos, did not care to rest. He said, why wait in the luxurious room? I need not rest. My Father's work is upon me. Press hard. So you got to understand what this is saying. You got to have the teachings. We got to go through this together. You can misquote everything. So your homework is to go through, your homework is chapter 15 and 16 in our Mystery of the Silent Brotherhood, 15 and 16. Because we're going to go over this systematically. So we got to go over Jesus passing the second brotherhood test. Justice, the Logos did not care to rest. He said, why wait? And then we going over to 16. Jesus passes the third brotherhood test, the faith. See, he got a whole bunch of them. The fourth one, Jesus passes the fourth brotherhood test. He takes the fourth degree of an adept. Of an adept. Y'all heard that, didn't y'all? Everybody like to use of adept. The fifth degree, heroism. Right? The sixth degree. And pass the sixth adapt chamber of what? The Eastern Sages. What'd you say?
I said the Eastern Sages.
That's right. And our prophet hath finished his task and must now go to the Son of Men with love and divine peace. Jesus answered the seven sages, goes to Galilee. See how we break all this down? Jesus received the news of his father's death, writes a letter to his mother. We're going to break all these teachers down. Your homework is 13 and 14. See, we almost done with the introduction of class, man. I got to introduce all books. This is our Moorish literature. This is our Moorish literature. My homework was like, man, where you got all them books from? He was like, he done been in for a temple forever. They never taught on no book. Bruh, I told y'all just be having church. I'm telling you, you just be having church. How can you say you learning something? How can you say you have a school and you have no lesson plan? The Moorish Science Temple of America, you're supposed to have a school with lessons. So if it's a school and you have students, when we gonna graduate? What are books? What are homework? It's none. It's church. So don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, man, for illuminating our own dirty deeds and laying out our own dirty laundry. We got to do it so we can clean this house. Just like my dad just say, who gonna be the change unit? I'm a change unit. I'm not falling into this program with all these Moors lying. We're going to teach systematically and we're going to keep it moving. Right, Moors? We're going to keep it moving.
Here, here.
But I want to touch on this real fast before I even go here. I want to touch on this because I'm going to leave with this. This is going to be this is our SO Science word book. I want to leave with this. But for our Moorish literature, I want Moors to read for your homework. I want you to start from prophet. Our prophet speaks to all nations. So that's going to be page 2, and I want you to get to page 6, and that's going to be the end because I teach systematically. I'm not going to give you too much. Let me tell y'all something I learned in scholarship. When you're teaching and you're lecturing, most people's attention span is not that long. So I'm damn sure I ain't going to give you a whole bunch of read because I know you're not going to read a whole bunch. No disrespect to no one. So in our Moorish literature, I want you to start from page 2 to 6 and take notes because we're going to elaborate on that. So I done gave you all lessons. I done gave you homework for 6 books, Moors. Don't come emailing me asking me, talk about, I ain't get it. Or what you saying, more? Can you work back again? And you ain't asked no question while you was on here. And all your students on here, all your classmates on here, y'all should be sharing information with each other. We family. I done gave you the homework for our Silent Brotherhood of the East. I done gave you the homework for our Moorish literature. Watch some more that's not going to catch it. Watch some more that's not going to get in contact with one of their classmates. I gave you homework for your Moorish Quran. I gave you homework for your catechism. I gave you homework for your catechism. And I gave you homework for your Quranic study guide. Watch, I guarantee you, watch. Just watch and see. So now, our SO Science workbook. I'm going to leave out with this. Our SO Science workbook. I'm going to go over the introduction. Right? I'm going to go over the introduction, then I'm going to give you some homework. But as the ancient prophecies predict, all that has been hidden is being revealed. And all divine prophets' remedy was to help people in their personal or national problems. They were to demonstrate or reveal the divine instructions to the wise for their instructions, and for the ignorant for their improvements. This was very important to acknowledge this for both for our salvation. That's why our Prophet Noble Drew Ali published the Moorish Quran of the Moorish Science Temple in 1927. And it was not introduced to the Moors until 1928 at the Moorish Convention in October. And in 1929 Moors, very little was known within the teachings of the Holy Quran. What are the chapters for the Catechism, Noble? See, didn't I tell you? Did I ask one of your students? Somebody tell them. Somebody tell them what the chapter for the Catechism. That's why I be telling you, man, you got to take notes. You got to take good notes. You got to be on time. If I say you finna get $1 million at 8 o'clock and then you don't get more, show up at 8:05, it's gone.
First pillar, founding values.
I told you what was the homework for Catechism. You better ask some of your students. Some of your classmates. Ask them. They should know. That's why I said the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. Wherever you weak at, you got to lean on your brothers and sisters before you can get it. If you can't get it, Noble, email me and then I'll get it to you. If you can't remember it, I'll tell you it. But you should be writing this stuff down, man. That's what I be telling y'all. When I start off, what do I say, y'all?
Get your pencil and your paper.
I say this every time. I'm trying to get us to be back to something. That's why I know it. And then I bet you if I was looking at Moors right now, Moors on here with no pencil and no paper, that it's on here. This is school. Because you weren't on yet. But I'll get it to you. And that's what I be saying. How you going to come to school? Remember mom used to say kids come to school not prepared?
Yep.
How you going to show up to class without a piece of paper and a pencil?
Yep.
And you're supposed to write notes.
But they got on their Jordans.
But we got on them Jordans. We got them iPhones. And you won't even take notes with your phone.
Your phone got notes. You can take notes on your phone.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is somebody answering?
Yeah, that's good. But that's okay. That's why it's students on here that take notes. We help each other. The strong bear the infirmities of the weak. I have to be bold. I have to be manufactual. I have to be, because that's how I teach, man. I teach manufactual because this is passion. I take this serious. Man, when I teach, man, y'all see them chill bumps on me? This ain't no joke with me, man. Like when I teach, when I mentor, this is for me too. Don't get it twisted, man. These teachers is for me.
We be getting high over here.
Hell. But the Moors did their best for what they had. And some interpretations was based on Christian and Masonic teachings. And with that understanding, the Moors were not elevating to their potential height, what our prophet intended. And over the course of years, several years, there have been arguments of what was taught and what was not. So we ain't finna argue of what was taught and what was not. We gonna teach. And in the 8th century AD, the Moors, the natives of Mauritania in North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture, which they had preserved. Knowledge in the ancient days was centralized. It belonged to a common parent and system. The wisdom teachings or mysteries of Egypt, which the Greek used to call Sophia. As such, the people of North Africa were the neighbors of the Egyptians and became the custodians of the Egyptian culture, which they spread through considerable portions of Africa, Asia Minor, and Europe. And during the occupation of Spain, the Moors displayed with considerable credit the grandeur of African culture and civilization. That's why our prophet gave us in our divine lessons in chapter 3, verse 14. If you would ask me what to study, what would I say, y'all? Yourself. And you will have studied them. And then would ask me what to study next. I will reply again, yourself. So this school of thought was to teach man to think of the unlimited capabilities and capacities for progress. The key to truth is hidden within your own vessel. That's when I say it's sacred to us, but it ain't nothing secret. How can I say I got the keys to fallen humanity and I'm going to lock them up? That's why it said the truth shall set you free, and your mind can be a prison on your salvation. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, your deeds can be a prison on your salvation. And in this world, Moors, you only have two kinds of thoughts. One is positive and the other is negative. And what brings about any form of education is the ability to think, to learn with the fundamental lessons of the words, which all have here basic meanings. Words produce many languages, and the origin of most languages is mostly and definitely not Latin. And it's not the origin of English, which comes from German and a lot of other influence, including French and Spanish. And all world's languages may date back to a single mother tongue spoken in prehistoric Africa, according to research in human spoken language, in a single dialect that proved the catalyst for human civilization Moors. So, when you're studying science, and we're getting ready to close with words, when you read carefully the doctrine of the Moorish Holy Science Temple, I'm on page 10 of our SO Science workbook. So when we look at the word care is a noun, and it's serious, mental attention. A verb is to feel concern or interest. So fully, right, is an adjective, entirely, perfectly, completely, containing all that can be received, right? That's why we got to understand that words have meanings. And to discover the hidden meanings in the words, you must go to the source. At the start, you must research words by looking into the etymology and the Moorish Holy Quran, which gives for its divine instructions, which were messages through the prophet's lessons as a continual reminder of the nearness and availability of Allah's instruction Moors. So the prophet's work was to receive the divine message and to deliver the message faithfully Moors. And a lesson from the Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 23, verse 13, it says, teach him science. It didn't say teach him religion. It said teach him science, and his life shall be useful. And the divine prophets approach their message through science, such as we spoke in parables. And parable is a story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. But you got to understand the parable, right? So, you also must understand Moors. When I talk about figures of speeches, and a figure of speech is often where an object, a person, or situation has another meaning other than its literal meaning. When I talk about parable, symbology, or analogy, the actions of character, word, action, or event that have a deeper meaning in the context of the whole story. When I talk about signs and symbols of the primordial man, you must understand the esoteric and the esoteric meaning of those signs and symbols. Like when you think that so-called religious people, they call it the Star of David. And I say when science is your heart chakra. And in more science, when we talk about the birth cycle, it's man and woman coming together. And then you put the Ankin together, it's creating life. Science, metaphysical, referring to an idea, a doctrine, or position, reality, outside of human sense, perception. The philosophy or study that uses broad concepts to help define reality and or understanding of it. Metaphysical studies generally seek to explain inherent or universal elements of reality, which are not easily discovered or experienced in our everyday life Moors. It uses logic based on meaning of human terms, rather than logic tied to human perception of the object or the objective world. So I hope y'all following me. So when we talk about metaphysics, it might include the study of the nature of the human mind, the definition and the meaning of existence, or the nature of space, time, casualty, fate, karma, and destiny. So an allegory, I hope y'all got your pens, a story, a poem, a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one, synonymous or synonyms, metaphor, parable, symbol, emblem, because we're going to get tested on this. Moors always want more and more and more, and I said, that's okay, because we're going to have a test on this where all the books going to be going, you ain't going to have time to, oh, let me get my smartphone, let me get my, all you're going to have is your notes, and we're going to see. Color symbolism. Color is a vital component of many different symbols, and many colors have deep symbolism. They are used to depict emotions, personality, feelings. Many colors have mystical powers or properties associated with them. The rainbow consists of what? 7 colors. There go that 7 again. Colors are not what it is, but what it gives away. Colors are not what it is, but what it gives away. And there are only 3 major colors: red, green, and blue. If anybody tell you anything else, they are lying. Everything that is physical reflects light, and it will have color to your perception. What you reflect will be your color. What you hold will not be your color. Therefore, Moors, the color that you reflect will add to your aura that you carry. Did y'all follow that? That science I just dropped? The color that you reflect will add to your aura that you carry. Black reflects nothing. It holds back everything. Follow the science, what I'm saying. So the 7 thoughts of wisdom. He who knows not and strives to know is a seeker. Aid him. He who knows not what he should know is a wanderer. Guide him. These are my responsibilities. He who knows not that he should know is asleep. Wake him. He who knows not and fear to know is enslaved. Free him. He who knows not and rejects to know him is dead. Pass him. Oh, let me get a drink of water on that. Because see, this is a gift. When I always say this is a gift, I ain't trying to teach no old dog new tricks. If you think you got it all, I'm going to walk past you. He who knows not and rejects to know is dead. Pass him. He who knows not yet claims to know is an imposter. Let me say that again. And let me give y'all, when you got all these Moors on the internet calling themselves sheiks, and I say, well, in Moor science, the word sheik is an adept. And so then when you start testing their adaptness, they don't know a damn thing. And then when you start talking real law, you're like, what you talking about? Imposter. He who knows not, yet claims to know, is an imposter. Shun him. Shun him. He who knows and shares what he knows is wise. Heed him. That's what I'm doing. Let me say this again. He who knows and shares what he knows is wise. Heed him. So what he's saying is when you see a brother that's teaching it right, you should appoint this brother. We should be lifting him up on a pedestal. But we always, oh, look at that white man. He telling us he telling us something about us. But your brother telling us who you are. We should be appointing me. And I said we should be appointing me. That's what I said. I know what I said. The power of definition of the cover. And I'm going to leave y'all with that. The power of this cover of this Moorish Quran. It's power when I talk about symbology. It's power in symbology. It's power in symbology. The colors of the Moorish Quran are for a significant reason. The colors of the Moorish Quran is for a significant reason, Moors. Red is thought to symbolize fire and is associated with power, importance, energy, strength, determination, love. Red is very emotionally intense color. It enhances human metabolism. It increases respiration. It increases that rate. And it raises blood pressure. Red also is used to indicate courage. It is a color found in many national flags. Blue is hope and good health. Blue is hope and good health. That's on the other Moorish Quran. When it's red, white, and blue, the other Moorish Quran. Blue is hope and good health. It is often associated with depth and stability. It symbolizes trust, loyalty, wisdom, confidence, intelligence, faith, truth, heaven. The state of mind is also blue. It's considered beneficial to the mind and body. It slows human metabolism and produces a calming effect. Blue is strongly associated with tranquility and calmness in heraldry. Blue is used to symbolize piety and sincerity. White symbolizes purity. White is associated with light, goodness, innocence. It is the color of perfection and has a positive connotation. White can represent a successful beginning. White depicts faith and purity. Red, blue, and white that are merged together becomes what? Red, blue, and white that are merged together becomes purple.
Purple.
Purple combines the stability of blue and the energy of red. Purple associated with royalty. It symbolizes power, nobility, and ambition. Purple is associated with wisdom, dignity, independence, creativity, mystery, and magic. So the Quran, he read, render, provides, or give, contribute a moral service of what has taken place in the consciousness of man, of the result of his works, either intelligently with the law or unintelligently against the law, in seeing his own salvation. It gives an explanation of the spiritual laws, right, as applied to man and woman, and tells us how to find the kingdom of heaven within. And the spiritual analysis of the Exoscience workbook for the Moorish Holy Quran was prepared for that reason. Right? So I'm going to stop right there. So homework for your Exoscience workbook is to go over. We're going to start the power of the definition of cover, which I just gave you, and to know thyself. The power of the definition covering. That's page 13. And to know thyself and Allah, 17. I'm only giving y'all pieces to go with. I'm not going to give you a whole bunch because we're going to learn systematically. So I gave y'all all the homework for class. We're going to, like I said, I didn't go over our civic book because the civic book, that's going to be taught different. All Moors, the trustee, and the rest. I'm finishing this up, so you're going to get this. You're going to get this along with your other UCC book, and I'm going to teach on these systematically. So Sundays, I'm going to upload our Quranic study teachings, and then after that, I'm going to do live ministry, and then probably Monday morning, I will record our civics, our history, and law, and I will send that to your email individually, so you can study along, so you won't miss any lesson plans. So that's it. That's it for the public. So like I said, nobody's going to get no teachings. I gave all the homework out, Moors, for your 7 books. And so after ministry, every Sunday, we can ask questions. Like I said, I gave you all your homework. I told y'all this is so-called Black History Month, but it's Moorish American Month every day for me. This is another book that I told Moors, The Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan van Sertima. I print this on my printing press. Go on Amazon. Y'all see how much this costs. I'm offering this book for a lower price. And I also have, let me get The Stolen Legacy. Hold on. These are 2 books that I want y'all to read for history, for your kids. I got that in here. The Stolen Legacy. I might not have it. Y'all know what I mean. But Stolen Legacy, I can't find it. I got it. I print that on my print press. And I want y'all to get The Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan van Sertima. I don't tell people prices. If you're serious about it, you inbox me. I'll tell you I'll ship it. I don't got time to be playing with Moors. Just want to look at pictures. That ain't what I do. That is not what I do. If you want something, and I told you I have a full library, all you got to do is inbox me like, no, I want that book. I'll tell you what the donation is. I'll ship it to you right there. And it's that simple. I don't have time to be playing, answering a whole bunch of questions. So that's it, Moors. Any questions? I'm wrapping up. Any questions? I'll answer a couple quick questions because we got 15 minutes left. We got 15 minutes, so I'll answer a couple quick questions. If any more got any quick questions, I will answer them real fast. And all my students and members, if you got questions, you my student, you my member, you can email me anything. So like I said, I'm going to repeat how class is going to go again. I'm going to repeat this so we can be clear. So Moors won't be misunderstanding what I'm saying. From here on out, can you break down the circle 7 symbol on the front of the Holy Quran? That's for students, nobles. If you're a member and student, you're going to get that. You're going to get that. You're going to get that. I told you. They're for my students and members. If a more not a student and a member, I'm not just going to answer those certain questions because this is for students and members. I want us to be clear. And me answering something and you don't have the research to study it for yourself, it's not going to do you any good. Because you're going to be repeating something that you don't have the literature that you can't go back to. And then it's not going to mean nothing. So what I'm doing right here, if we say we Moors and Moors say we Covenant, the next question that I'm asking is why are Moors not being a part of this schooling and Moors be on here all the time? No disrespect to you, Nova, and Nova's be on here, but then we make excuses. We trying to handle our finances and do this. And I'm like, look, if this is serious, we can do this. My Gmail. Yep, my Gmail is the best. My Gmail is the best. My Gmail. That's what I'm telling Moors. I'm like, I'm getting ready to be gone. I'm not going to be answering no more questions for nobody individually. I've been telling people this day was getting ready to come. I told Moors. I'm like, man, to be a student is simple. To be a student is simple. I'm looking at everybody's page and everybody winning. Or at least we looking like it. And then when we come to teaching, we want everything free. We want somebody to give us something for free. But we can't go to a class and get stuff for free. And thank you. Thank you, Noble. We just read over the meaning. Thank you. That's why I be waiting for people that take good notes. I just went over it. I was waiting for somebody to say that. That's why I said I can't wait till the test. Because Moors just be wanting something. I'm like, we ain't listening. I think we be wanting to just get stuff and we can be repeated to try to make it seem like we heavy. And then when we say something, we sound stupid as hell. No disrespect to no one. But that's what I be telling Moors. I'm like, I just went over that. So are your ears in tune? That's why I said we need to be students. That's why I repeat, we need to learn and be educated. That's be my whole statement. Thank you, Noble, for giving that statement. Thank you. So, like I'm saying, every Sunday, we're gonna our Quranic studies is gonna be pre-recorded. And then I'm gonna get on and do my ministry because I do ministry for the public because I'm a divine minister for a lot of people. And then Monday, I will do our civics and our history and our law. Civics, history, and law. When I talk about the AA22 number, when I talk about real civics and real law, and what UCC codes really consist of, and not getting caught up in some stuff that don't mean poo diddly. I get the information to show you that you don't need certain things. Not when somebody just making stuff up, because if you think that UCC one is valid today, you a liar and a sin. And whoever teaching you that expatriation stuff is a liar and a sin. And you're going to go to jail just along with them. I'm telling you. So, I'll leave that there, man, with students. Anybody, any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? No disrespect, man, to nobody. But I said, if we're not going to take notes, if we're just going to sit here like a bump on a log and then ask a whole bunch of questions, I'm like, well, what you in school for? You're supposed to be in school to learn. You should be able to take good notes and compare. We should be students. Like, this ain't church. You get ministry. I get ministry on Sundays. We in school. This school. And we're going to be tested on everything. We're going to be tested on everything because that's how we learn. And there's nothing wrong with us being corrected by our teachings. Any other questions? Any other questions? I got another piece of science, too, that's printed that Moors might need. You know? It's called The Real Indian is the Negro, the AKA the Blackamoor. And I got these for purchase, too. It got all type of science. Because, see, I be trolling people pages. They just be posting stuff. You know how Moors, just see something, they'll post a picture of a book, and then I know they ain't read it, because when I started talking about it, they don't know what I be talking about. They be like, no, but that's deep. I'm like, it's in the book, you posted. When Moors just be making up stuff about the 4th of July, and I say that the 4th of July is the day of the Kiefer. It's duality in everything. It's duality in everything. And so you must deal with the science. Any other questions? Any other students got any other questions? That's why I told y'all you need to be students, Noble. We got to figure out a way. We can't make excuses. We are working and we are in a financial situation where I know we have the finances to do what we want to do. But we make excuses. And when I look on page We Fresh, we got all the clothes, but you say you want to be a student. This is simple. That's what I tell Moors. We can't be lazy. and we only fooling ourselves. We only fooling ourselves. Any other question? Any other questions? We only fooling ourselves. Talk about you study at home. You can't. You don't have the lessons. And then if you read something for the first time, you don't understand this spiritual book. You trying to read this spiritual book and this spiritual science in a carnal mind. You go into these teachers all mad and angry, trying to prove a point to somebody. You going in this trying to prove, I'm gonna prove to these, that they don't know what they take. You all your energy your pH balance all out of whack. You all out of whack. You all out of whack. Any questions? I encourage y'all to be students, man, and learn systematically so we can take these teachings to the world. Our freedom is wrapped in nationality, spirituality. That makes us complete 5 over 5. History, law, civics, the religious laws. It takes all of that. And we must educate our own. And the laws protect us. Any other questions, man? Because I'm done. Any other questions? Y'all should be getting all y'all books for me. It's so-called Black History Month. Y'all ain't buying no books? What y'all reading? Yes. We got a whole library. I just gave y'all 2 books.
What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
Ridiculous.
Right? I just gave y'all 2 books I want y'all to have. This is one right here.
No more salt.
The Golden Age of the Moors. This is one I want y'all to have right here. It's too high, Dad? You said it's too high?
Yeah.
What's too high?
Super too high?
Yeah. What's too high? Oh, you took that, yeah.
See? It's on my print press. These are books that I print for my Moors. So I want all y'all to have this so you can get an understanding of what this is all about. You should get all your books from me. When you order your books from me, you get a tax-exempt receipt because we are a real school. When you order books from Amazon, you just buy it from a company. Support our body, man. Support our body. Any more questions? We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Y'all better say something. 3 minutes and counting. It's almost over. And when I say it, I tell Moors, man. I tell Moors, don't be mad at me. This time was coming. I'm a teacher and I need students. And everything that you give, you watch at the end of the year, everybody's going to get a tax-exempt receipt. Just like your $100 a month for your student dues, you're going to get a receipt for that. I told y'all, we're going to buy a building. Everybody that's giving $100 a month, you are a stakeholder. You need to research what a stakeholder is. Everybody that's giving $100 a month, you are a stakeholder. We're going to buy a building. When you come out here, it's going to be our temple and school. And then if you want an acre or 2 to build on to where you can retire to, you can do that. But your $100 monthly fee, your $100 student dues is going for us to buy our temple out here. We ain't going to rent nothing again. That's over. We're going to buy us a building. It's going to be ours. I guarantee you that. Any more questions? Any more questions? And Moors, you guys should be introducing this to other Moors that think they know something and want to learn science. We can't just keep it to ourselves like, oh, I'm going to learn something. I'm not going to share this with people. For we act like we're so heavy. These teachers are for the world. And I'm not even burdening our brothers and sisters. I know a lot of Moors that used to go to church and you were giving hundreds and hundreds of dollars away to the church. And all I ask for our Moors is just $100 a month so we can do something real. That's $5 a day for 20 days. Simple science. Any questions, Moors? Any questions? Any questions?
No, goodbye.
All right, no questions. Well, Islam, Moors, and Islam.